how to layer hair extensions. Most of you guys are putting hair extensions all in on one row. You're putting everything in just on one quick row and you have everything hanging at one length. It's hard to layer. What about in the old days when we used to put layer after layer, 1, 2, 3, and you can kind of see how it's starting to layer, right? The blonde, the brown, the blonde. I kind of separate them here so you can kind of see it. When you're trying to put layers in all of this hair in one section, it's just not going to work. Do not cut layers like this. This is how you were taught to cut layers in school, right? And what is going to happen? Can some of you guys already see what's going to happen down here? It's not going to blend so well, is it? This is not the way to cut layers on hair extensions. This is what you get. All right, guys, to cut layers correctly, let's start with framing the face. Let's just go ahead and figure out how much are we going to layer in that front. I'm going to kind of be in an awkward position so you can see a little bit better on camera, but many times you'll hold the comb high in your hand and it'll be in the way. So I say hold it low in your hand, barely even need a comb for this section, and I am not sliding. This is not a slide cut. Most people would grab this front and just push the scissors through and just slide cut, razor cut with scissors. Use a razor if you're going to do that, or do little bitty cuts, bunch of quick little cuts deep inside the scissor. So when you start to cut right here, let's just say right here, and you cut little bitty cuts, it's going to start to blend that front right around the face. I mean, that is nice. Let's see if I can get it to lean forward a little bit. It'll show it off just a little bit better. I'll do it a little bit more. Little bitty cuts all the way through. It'll start to frame the face. That starts to look like layers right away, right? So the way we got layers is to first do a little bit better job with placement. And then we can layer over the top. If you pull it straight up in the air, I think you guys saw, it's going to look really choppy. But watch the difference here. If I take vertical sections all the way around the head, I'll start with this very front vertical section. Let me see if I can get it where you guys can see straight on. If I were to pull this straight out to the side, I've already got a blonde, a brown, and a blonde section that need to start being layered into. That makes it a little easier, but I can't cut it off with big chunks. Sort of like I just did the front, I have to just cut a little over the top. So what I'm going to do is get this vertical section in my hand, just slightly raise it, keeping tension on the hair and cutting over the top. So I'm slowly just going to be cutting a little bit, all the way through. And that is what's going to start to give me, see those layers? That's what's going to start to give me the layers over the top. Now, the other thing to think of is that you've got that client's hair laying right on top. Where should the hair extension layers start? Right under that. If you need to layer the client's hair any, that's fine, but most of the times we just texturize that client's hair so it kind of color melts, cut melts, blends into the hair a little bit. But if you need to pick this up and layer it just a little bit more, that's fine, and then start layering just below that hair for the hair extensions. Now what I'll do is lots of vertical sections all of the way around. I don't even use a comb most of the time. So what I'll do is I go in and grab a vertical section like this and start right where that client's hair ended, start layering right over the top. And I don't know if you can see it clear on camera. We're not quite getting that bottom edge. That bottom edge should be taken care of from the multiple layers of extensions being in. It's already layered down there. Where we need to start layering it is over the top. I'm going to do one more section here. Starting to hit the brown now. Ended the brown, barely got into the blonde, and I'm done. So in that very bottom section, I think you can see that we've got blonde going into brown, going into blonde. Nothing done right here. We've still got a lot of that top blonde going over a lot of the brown. Naturally layered a little bit here at the bottom because of the 3 rows of extensions put in. Nothing done here. Bad layer cut done here. Or very trendy, depending on how you look at it. And then a little more blended here. And I can do that again and again over the top, starting to layer it. Good, nothing done, whatever you want to call it. And that's how you cut layers on hair extensions.